Tom, how we feeling?
I'm powered up. Powered up.
So let's start with the trade deadline, Tom. I'm assuming you thought we might get a couple questions, so I'll just leave it open-ended. Everything you've heard, everything you've seen, whatever. How come the Patriots ended up not adding anybody at the trade deadline?
Well, I think the reaction's been somewhat interesting, and I understand it. I think the Patriots would be disappointed if you asked them and hit them with the truth serum. You don't spend, as Mike Vrabel said, all the time that his personnel department did and work extremely hard, quote unquote, and not have anything consummated and not say, you know, I wish we were able to do something. We just spent all that time. So certainly there has to be a level of disappointment. The notion that it's okay, it's fine, hey, they need all those picks, I also think is wrong-headed. I mean, you have 11 picks right now. You have multiple sixth-round picks. You have fifth-round pick. You have fourth-round picks. 11 picks. 11 guys are not making the team. So the notion that you need to hold on to all those draft picks that I've heard pushed forward is also wrong-headed. They have depth issues. I don't disagree with them not coughing up a third-round pick for a Jalen Phillips or a Breece Hall. But I do think that a fourth for a pass rusher or a fifth for a wide receiver like Jacoby Myers would have made sense. But I also think the notion that, hey, the Patriots didn't want to upset the apple cart and they don't care and they don't believe in this team, which I've also heard pushed forward, is absolutely asinine. I mean, you can have space for both things to be true. They tried. They didn't make it happen. It's certainly disappointing to them. They might rue the fact that they didn't get it done, but you don't just do it to satiate the masses and stay out of the media crosshairs and add somebody who, in the long run, whether it's Akeem Ayers or Jonathan Casillas or Kyle Van Noy or some slappy who doesn't do a thing for you, it's not going to be that drastic. And I just named three guys who were good trade deadline ads.
Yeah, that's it was interesting. I just kind of looked at the first three Super Bowl teams. Never once did we do a midseason trade in the first three Super Bowls, but in the last three Super Bowl teams, they made multiple deals. So it's just interesting to kind of juxtaposition between the two eras, right? But
yeah, it's really interesting. Go ahead, Teddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But I was just going to ask you. You look at, you wonder, like, would the deal that the Colts made with the Jets, would that have made people here happy? But I'm just curious, really, at the end of the day, what do you think? What team you think in the AFC did the best at the trade deadline? The Colts, obviously, a couple first rounders they give up to get Sauce Gardner. The Jets, just piling up picks. The Jags, I thought was interesting for a first-year head coach and GM. Trading away two picks to get Jacoby, and then the Chargers made some moves to get offensive tackles. What did you think of those deals in the AFC? And did any of those deals, those trades, you think are going to really propel any of those teams forward the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think Indianapolis, obviously, to me, they gave up a lot. But to give up a lot, you must feel like this year is an important year for you in terms of how far you can go. And they said, Katie, bar the door. We're going to go get Sauce Gardner. We're going to take a player who's got an existing contract. And I'm not saying that the Patriots would turn their nose up to Sauce Gardner or parting with a pick, but they have a corner, first of all. Again, I'm not saying that the Patriots don't have any needs. Jalen Phillips would have made sense, but that's a third-round pick. Do you want 9 games of Jalen Phillips or 8 games of Jalen Phillips, and then you don't know whether he's going to come back, or do you want a third-round pick that you can have for a few years? Again, that's not what you're asking me. Let me go back to your original question. The Colts did, obviously, the best. Whether that is a tipping point and sends them to deep into the postseason or to a Super Bowl win, we've seen those kinds of plays, those kinds of moves happen before with different players who are impact players. There's no doubt Beckham, a late ad for the Rams. Was he a late season ad?
Yes.
I mean, he's one of the guys. There was a great stat that someone put out the other day that in the last 5 Super Bowls, a trade deadline acquisition has scored a touchdown, which is fascinating. Yeah. So it makes a difference. It will absolutely help you. And if you can see your way clear to doing it, you should do it. But I think the Patriots should have been more than depth buyers, at least, as opposed to frontline type player guys.
Agree, cosign, etc. Tom. Regarding the game this Sunday at Brady's secondhand stomping grounds, which potential loss concerns you more for the offense? Kayshon Boutte on the outside at receiver or Ramondre as lead back?
That's a great question. Probably Stevenson in this matchup because the Bucs are so blitz happy. They love to get after the quarterback with extra rushers, and they're very good at it. And Drake May has been as good as anybody in the league against the blitz, and the numbers bear that out. But he's also taking more sacks than most any quarterback in the league. So to me, I think you would like to have Ramondre Stevenson this week because he's such a good blitz pickup guy, and we still have yet to see Travion Henderson have that emerge as one of the strengths that he has in his tool belt, but has not emerged in the NFL. So I think Ramondre Stevenson would be the player that I'd look at and say, it'd be nice to have him this week. Kayshon Boutte, I don't think it's going to be a long-term injury for him. I'm not saying he'll be out there on Sunday, but most likely I don't think it's going to go on and on and on the way Gonzalez did, for instance.
Tom Curran, NBC Sports Boston, here on WEEI Afternoons. Tom, in the wake of the trade deadline that they didn't add depth, it had me sort of thinking, is this a commentary on some of the depth that is there? Maybe some of the young players, a Marcus Bryant at tackle, a Swinson on the practice squad on the edge, Kyle Williams at wide receiver. Do you think those guys played into this equation? And are you hearing anything like, do they expect some of those guys maybe to contribute the way an addition would?
I don't think that those presences were enough to make them not shop.
Okay.
I think that there's just a prevailing opinion around the league, and even heard Kyle Shanahan articulated with the Niners, the prices were too high. Again, these guys get so married to the picks and the notion that you need all these picks and you can't part with them, that I think it's oversold, but the prices were so high that teams were reluctant to make moves. I can't imagine that they envision many of those players being able to step up and give commensurate ability to somebody that you could have gotten from another team, like in the names that you mentioned, Swinson or Marcus Bryant. So to me, I think those are separate conversations. I don't think the Patriots should be comfortable with their depth, and if they are, they've seen something that I haven't. Kyle Williams might be a good player at some point, but as the training camp and preseason rolled along, I became less and less willing to say he was going to make an impact this year. And I think that as we see him get on the field, it's hard to see him making an impact. I don't know what it is, whether it's just a same page situation, a reps situation, but I don't think he's distinguished himself as a dependable receiver that you're going to bang the ball to with 5 targets on any given Sunday, never mind be a starting receiver. Are you going to put him out there, throw it to him 5 times, he's going to catch 3 for 30 yards? That's a low bar. I think that you would set off the confetti cannons if you saw him have that kind of day.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. TC, this is a big game. Obviously, maybe the biggest test they've had since playing the Buffalo Bills. And I'm just curious what you think. How big is this game from a status point of view or expectation point of view? What would it mean for this franchise in Drake and Mike to win this game against a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team? How would this, if they were able to pull this win off, how would this propel them into the kind of mainstream consciousness of best teams in the NFL?
Yeah, I think this is the best game on the slate this weekend. I spoke to Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk this morning. He wanted to talk Patriots Bucs, so he called me to discuss that nationally, and I'm like, this is the best game, really? He said, yeah, it's the best matchup. And that's where the Patriots are. They're the most interesting matchup, 2 teams with the best records, interconference game. If the Patriots, and I've loved the way that their schedule has kind of developed for them, just the different challenges they've gotten and the tempo of it. I'm sure they would have liked to have had a bye or the 10-day break after a Thursday night game. By now, they haven't gotten it. But you had a ramp up to the Buffalo game, and then after the Buffalo game, which was preceded by a fairly quote-unquote easy game against Carolina, you had another number of games against teams that weren't that good. Now you're ramping up again. You've played road games. You've played out-of-conference games. You've now gotten to a point where you have a chance to play a team that's very good defensively. that has only lost, I believe, to the Lions and the Eagles. So it's a great checkpoint game for the Patriots, I think. And I don't think that this is a moral victory game, right, Ted?
No.
There's sometimes you say, keep it close. They lost 23-20, but it's good to see they can hang. We know they can hang. There's no doubt about that. They've separated themselves. Now the question should be, can you win on the road against a playoff team? And if you can, that really propels, I think, them and, as you mentioned, the national consciousness.
So right now, Tom, you got the Patriots tied with the Colts and the Denver Broncos for top seed in the AFC. I think a lot of us feel like the Pats could and should be in it all the way. Same with the Colts as well, especially after they chose chaos and traded for Sauce Gardner. But if there were another team in the AFC that you were to have your eye on as you know what, I'd watch out for these guys, who would that team be?
Denver. I think Denver is. Are you including them in that question? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I just went Colts and Pats. So if you want to say Denver, please.
Yeah, Denver. I think Denver is incredibly underrated. I think they're probably better than the Patriots. They were a playoff team last year. They have a quarterback-coach combo that is incredibly well accomplished so far in the time that Bo Nix has been in the league. They protect better than any team in the league in terms of their quarterback. They get after the quarterback better than any team in the league. They've had all manner of different kinds of games that they've had to come back and win, that they've won convincingly, that they've been on the road to win. So I think Denver is 100% overlooked.
Tom, can I get
that would be
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I get a quick prediction for Sunday before we let you go?
Oh, we got a scoop? 19-17 Bucks.
19-17 Bucks. Yep. I like the score more than I like the result. We'll talk to you next week.
Whoa, that was quick.
Just
Bye.
like that, man. See you,
Tom.
When you're having a good time, time flies, right?